This week's soap is a castile soap, which means it's a soap that is made with only olive oil, except for this recipe cheats and has some coconut oil in it too. And I'm going to be decorating it with an in the pot swirl. And so I think it turned out pretty good. Okay, so what I am doing here is I have split the soap up into a couple different batches, and I am going to color these, and then I'm going to pour them back in here before pouring them into the molds, and this is going to be an in the pot swirl. I have very specific instructions from Leah as to what colors I am supposed to use and how I am supposed to do this, because this is Leah's soap. So I'm crossing my fingers that this in the pot swirl technique will, you know, give me a nice kind of marbling look. Okay, so my base is being colored here with the turmeric, and this is supposed to be a yellow, but I gotta say, this is looking pretty orange with it poured in there. I don't know if that is because I've messed it up here, and I'm not actually supposed to do turmeric powder straight in, but we will see. Okay, so this is my yellow base, and then Leah said that she wanted white. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to pour in some of this first color that I've separated out. To get some white kind of sitting in there. It's starting to thicken, so I'm like, oh, gotta hurry. Okay, and so then I'm going to make some pink. One thing that I've seen talked about is sometimes they start to thicken when they sit, and they just need to be loosened. You just give it a stir, and what kind of was looking like it was starting to thicken up will loosen up a bit there. So hopefully some light stirring without doing the hand blender will keep these loose enough to be able to actually get my first swirl successful. I might actually need to stick the immersion blender in for this clay though. This might have been a good idea to, you know, do a little bit of like watering this down with oils rather than trying to just stir the powder straight in, you know, especially because this is my first try at doing kind of some of this more complicated stuff, which is a little bit more time sensitive than what I have been doing previously. So, okay, let's give this a quick blast with the hand blender. See if we can break this clay up. Get this color looking a little bit more even. Okay, that's instantly looking more like what I want it to do. But it's also thickened it a bunch. Don't necessarily have time to salvage all the scraps. Alright, so that's my pink. Okay, let's see. Stir this up. I want yellow to be the biggest color. I want pink to be the second biggest color. And then a little bit of white to appease Leah's design sensitivities. And then some black, because the other colors I'm hoping, you know, like this will give it a bit of a punch. You know, this soap is basically gonna be for the kids. I scented it with lavender and it also has a little bit of eucalyptus and a little bit of ylang ylang in it. So it kind of has this like nice, you know, not floral, kind of, you know, exotic floral scent to it that I like. It smells really nice down here right now. And I think that Ian won't mind it. And then, you know, this color is gonna be, these color combos is gonna be kind of fun. And these bars that, we have these heart-shaped bars, and I think I'm gonna like the shape of the bar. I'm not 100% sold on these kind of like rectangle shapes that the loaf cuts. I've been finding, even as I'm just kind of handling them to cut them, that I don't necessarily like the feel of them in my hand. And so then when you then add in the fact that it's slippery in the bath, I'm just not 100% sold that it's gonna be something that I really like to use. Okay, this is looking kind of fun. This is looking exciting. I'm getting a little bit concerned about the black, seeing this the way it already is on the top. I don't know if this is going to be too much black. I'm gonna leave it at that for the black, because the black definitely has, you know, stronger. Okay, then get my molds. So these are some new molds. I remembered that I owned these random like silicone molds, these little like teddy bear hearts. So Leah saw these and thought these were pretty much the best, so I figured that would be a good one for her. Yeah, this is looking pretty black. Maybe we're gonna save some of these in the teddy bear molds, because those are gonna be so much Leah's, and I don't know if how she's gonna feel about the black on them. Okay, let's do some of these. See how this is pouring out. I might have made a design mistake when I put so much black in. Might have just been too strong of a color with the other kind of not so overwhelming colors. Then it's also looking like it's kind of thickening up and getting chunky inside the pot. Try out a couple of these stars too, to see what this mold is gonna end up being like. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a pretty cool marbling look. You know, it's hard to tell sometimes when they're just kind of getting poured out. You don't really know until it sets up and some of the gelling happens and you can see the colors a little bit more clearly. Okay. So here's my other mold. And I still have a little bit of that black left, so. Yeah, it's funny, it's like almost, like it's coming out like applesauce is the texture of it. This is like the first time I've ever had to deal with it starting to thicken at all. And then it's just kind of being all clumpy. Normally I'm fighting with it because it's too thin. So, at least I know this recipe. At least I know it fully emulsified when it's doing this. Okay. Let's get some of these lighter colors on top of these super dark ones. I don't know. It's, you know, with this stuff, it's super hard to tell. And then the other thing too is, you know, the loaf with all these like swirl type techniques are nice because then you can cut it open and see just what the marbling kind of looks like inside of the soap. But I don't know if I'm gonna really be able to get that same effect with these being these like, you know, shaped molds. Maybe I'll have to cut one up just to see if they look fun on the center. I don't know. I'm not sure that the yellow ended up looking so dark that I'm not sure if the pink is really gonna like stand out from it. Okay. Let's see what's going on. I don't really want to pat this down too much because some of these are kind of overflowing, but this one I do want to try to flatten a little bit, so I'm going to put this black on. These are definitely more stressful, these style soaps, than the ones that I've done so far. So much more mystery, covering up all my prettiness by doing this. But I think this will look cool, having that like bottom layer of black. It smells really nice. I really like this essential oil blend that I made. You know, like I don't really use essential oils for anything. We're not a big, like, you know, have scents in the house type family. Ian would kill me if I bought like some sort of essential oil diffuser. He'd be like, grounds for divorce, I'm out of here. So, you know, a lot of these scents I haven't really been exposed to prior to buying these oils for the soap. And I kind of chose them just based on, you know, what was kind of a little bit more affordable. But this ylang ylang scent, I really like it. And I found, like, I keep blending it in with everything, and it kind of just, it doesn't overpower, but it completely changes the scent when you add it in. So, I don't know, it's really cool. I highly recommend getting some if you've never smelt it before. I like it, at least. You know, everyone's so unique in what it is they like and what they don't like. Okay, well, there we go. I don't know. Now we have to wait and see. I have zero idea what this is gonna look like. But, you know, like when I look here, I see potential for like some, you know, really dramatic marbling, or like, you know, in these ones. But, you know, with this, I should have put 1 cup of white and, like, you know, half a cup of black into this total recipe, because black is you know, obviously a very overpowering color, I can see, in doing any of these kind of swirls. Though it always looks so good, it looks so dramatic when you got like the black and white. So, well, there we go. This is probably gonna be a couple days because this is a castile soap, so it's supposed to be super soft. So you'll see it right away. You'll see it as soon as this ends, but I have to wait. Keep forgetting to show you guys, but this is a really good trick for, especially for when you're doing black. This helps to keep the soda ash off, which is that, like, you know, scummy kind of layer on the top, which looks especially bad on black. But you just get this rubbing alcohol and you spritz the soaps after you got them molded. So as they sit, the surface won't get the soda ash kind of building up on it. And this has worked super good. That first couple batches that I did had the ash really badly on it, and I did, on the black batch, I did one with this and it worked really good, and one where I had the plastic kind of folded in and it didn't work. The ash still happened. So yes, highly recommend that trick. Really good trick. You smelling it? You showing it to the camera? Yeah? How's it smell? Sam is obsessed with the soaps. These ones have been especially problematic with this little guy because they have been sitting out, because I have them out in my laundry room, and I've been touching them and testing them because they're super soft, and he will run in there and grab them because he's so tall that he can reach up on top of the table that I have them on. So, you know, here's what one of them is looking like, because he keeps grabbing it and mashing it because he likes smelling them. How's it smell? It smells good. I learned a lot making this batch of soap. One thing I definitely learned is they are not lying when they say that the castile soap is very soft. This recipe actually does have some coconut oil in it, just to kind of suds it up a bit, but this stuff is crazy soft. Like I tried unmolding some at 2 days and it came out like all mashed, and part of the issue is I was doing these like individual sized silicone molds too, so like there's some detailing that made it extra hard to get out, and they're deep too. But yeah, 2 days soft, 4 days soft. Like, you know, even now it's been a week since I made the soap now. And I made this one quickly after the last batch I made because I knew that it was gonna take a while, but I didn't think it was gonna be this long. But yeah, at this point it's still super soft, and it's I don't want to even handle it too much
because like it's so soft it's getting fingerprints in it. One thing that I really liked about the In the Pot Swirl, especially because I was doing these individually molded ones, is like every soap is different. You know, it's like here, like black and pink, and then this one, you know, it's yellow and pink on the side, and some of them have these like amazing marbling where the colors really did mix together, but every single one of these is very, very different looking, and that makes it fun. I'm not putting that in the mouth. Okay, you know what? I can imagine a loaf out of this in the pot swirl technique would look really fun too, because every slice that you do is going to be showing different details, different colors that are going to come up, and so it's fun to have, like, you know, one batch but a bunch of different looks out of it. Okay. One thing I didn't expect was that the black was going to be so overwhelming mixed in. I liked the technique and I'd do it again, but I think if I was gonna do it, I would use more of just a highlighting color. I think part of the reason why the layers weren't kind of mixing together too well is I was trying to do too many colors, so the recipe thickened up too much to kind of drop through evenly. No, you're not. To drop through the different layers evenly, so I think it kind of ended up getting the layers kind of stacked on top of each other, and then when I poured it out, just like the top would pour out, and then the middle, and then the bottom. Yes, I know, everyone can see your soap, but everyone can see you eat your soap too, and you're not supposed to eat it. In hindsight, I think this recipe was, you know, like maybe like 5 or 6 cups, maybe a little bit more, and in hindsight I probably would have like only pulled out 2 cups and had like the 4 cups as the main bit, and then mixed 2 1-cup colors, poured it in, and maybe given it a stir to swirl the colors in, as opposed to how I tried to make it, you know, I overcomplicated it, I think, and I think that the results aren't as nice because of that. This is also my first time using turmeric as a coloring, and I used it just added directly in to the batch, and I'd done the paprika the batch before. That's actually what Sam has in his hand there. He has one that was colored with the paprika, but so I had some extras that I scraped into like a small mold, and I noticed a big difference that the small mold ones, they didn't get gelled at all, and so the color on the paprika ungelled was just lightly orange, and no, not in your mouth, was just lightly orange, and then it has these speckles of the powder actually inside the soap. Whereas the gelled paprika soap ended up getting to be a really rich orange, and it didn't have that same speckling to it. It seems like pretty much the same thing happened with the turmeric on this batch. It started out, it wasn't very yellow at all. When I first poured it, and also when I first unmolded these, the yellow was pretty mild. Like, it just kind of seemed like it was like a, you know, a naturally slightly yellowed soap, and then it had the speckles. And I think part of the issue is these individual molds, they were harder to get them to gel. I actually did tuck these in a lot more than I would on the loaf, but the loaf just in itself, because it's denser, kind of, it gels easier anyways. So I think that these maybe didn't get fully gelled, and that's part of the reason why they still have that little bit of a speckle and not quite the same richness of color in the same way that the paprika did. So if I was to do this again and wanted to use the turmeric, I'd probably actually infuse the oil before doing the recipe, and that would make it slightly less likely to do this splotchy kind of yellow that it did. But I like the look, but it wasn't the look that I thought it would be when I made it. You don't put that in your mouth. You're gonna be in trouble. It's not for in your mouth. Oh, okay, that's nice kisses for mommy. That's nice hugs and kisses. So I really like the marble look that the In the Pot Swirl ended up doing for my soaps, even though that wasn't the look that I thought it was going to be when I poured it out. It looks cool. And I think it would look really neat with like a handful of similar colors too. And speaking of stress, I was surprised how much more stressful the process of finishing up the soap was once I took on this kind of more complicated decorative technique. You know, even like, so the layering was basically the most complicated thing I've done before this, and it didn't really feel like, oh, I gotta hurry, because I was just kind of waiting for, pour the first layer in, wait for it to, you know, firm up, pour the next layer in. It's like, you know, if it thickens a bit, not a big deal. But this was quite time sensitive, and so I was surprised how rushed I felt doing it, because I was getting more confident with the handling the soap, I basically said in the last video. So, you know, I obviously need to now build up confidence for the speed at which I work with the soap. So the next decorative technique that I want to try is to actually do the swirls in the loaf. Like, you know, this is the pour it into the pot and then pour it into your mold. Simple. The next that I want to do is I want to, you know, fill up the base color and then put a couple colors in and give a deep swirl, not just that surface swirl. And so that is gonna mean that I'm gonna have to be a little bit more skilled than I was working with the soap for this batch, because I'm going to need to be able to get it to sink to the bottom, or else, you know, when I pour it in, it's just gonna be decorative on the top half, and then I'm gonna have a plain detail on the bottom. So, you know, I need to work on the fact that I felt rushed and felt like I didn't get the soap batter to stay fluid enough to do the look that I wanted it to do. So I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to that. And I also will be trying the next recipe in the book, which is a Bastille soap, which is still an olive oil soap, but you know, a little bit less of the olive oil, so hopefully not so soft. I use salt in this, and I'm definitely going to be using salt in the next batch just to get, you know, a little bit of firmness going. But happy with this. I like the look of it. I like the fact that, you know, I had a bunch of colors going here, but we haven't done it yet. We don't have the ultimate achievement of beautiful soap. We're still going. We're still working on this. So, but I feel like we're getting there. We're getting closer. Like this, you know, this is cool. This looks neat. This is like, if I saw this in like a store, I'd be like, that person knows how to make soap. Other than, you know, like the mashedness of them. But we're not there yet. So keep sticking with me. This is your first time here. Make sure to subscribe so you can see end process, the final of beautiful soap. We're gonna make a super fancy one. And yeah, I guess it's time to put this somewhere to dry and get on to my next batch. What have you been thinking of the soap?
I like it. It's so lucky.
Yeah? Which one's your favorite that I've made so far?
New soap.
The newest soap is your favorite?
Yeah.
What's your favorite color for soap?
Purple.
What's your favorite color that we have?
Purple.
No, for soap.
Yeah.
Yellow, orange, brown, black, white, or pink?
White.
White's your favorite color for soap?
Yeah. Bye.